allow me to reintroduce myself. I am Randy White, and I'm running to be your Congresswoman in Maryland's 1st District, and we got a lot to go over, including what has happened today that could be a lose-lose for Andy Harris and his crew. I hope you're okay. I hope everything's going well, and if you're looking like, what? Again, I am just like you, and I get bored, and luckily I get to change when I look a certain way and when I don't. So there you go. I get very bored. So anyway, government's back open, and living in Maryland, your money should be on your independence card today in full. So fingers crossed with that. And remember last week I was telling you that, people were overreacting to the whole, well, there were 8 Democrats who caved in and blah, blah, blah. Okay, so here's why it might have been chess and not checkers. So what happened was Mike Johnson, who's the Speaker of the House, he had been saying for weeks, hey, don't come back, don't come back. We're not going to put in this vote. And we all know why, because they didn't want to swear in Adelaida Grijalva from Arizona, who, a month prior had been trying to get sworn in for her people in Arizona, and she was going to be that 218th vote on the petition to release the Epstein files. So they were avoiding that. Now, with the Republicans and 8 Democrats coming in the Senate coming together, Mike Johnson was like, ooh, win for Republicans, everybody come back home. Okay, so then the next morning, Hakeem Jeffries and the Dems of the Oversight Committee started releasing those emails with Jeffrey Epstein and talking about, toupee fiasco and the stuff that he got into, and the fact that, TikTok tried to kick me off for that stuff before. By the way, I rebuke that violation, and I told you what I tell you. So anyway, they did all that. Then the USDA is like, well, you know what? Everybody's getting their SNAP benefits and everything else, but we're going to stop that. And we're going to make sure, people reapply and all this other stuff. They're being big and bad about stuff. The USDA, when people get SNAP benefits, they recertify every 6 months. So they go through how much they're making. They go through how much they're spending on housing and car payments, et cetera, et cetera. The recertifications aren't something new. What is going on? Also, so to avoid the chaos that's going on, and he's being the Wizard of Oz, where he's like, don't look over here. Squirrelwig McFuckface is like, well, you know what? Why would you want to save on healthcare when I can just give you $2,000? Again, he's not saying he's giving you a stimulus check, which multiple people came to me and said, hey, I heard we're getting a stimulus check. You are not getting any money. It is a figment of your imagination. They are talking about a $2,000 dividend, which isn't a check. They are purposely not saying it's a check, and they are purposely not telling you that you're not getting money. They are purposely saying that because they want you to think you're getting money, but you're not. What they're trying to do is make you think. So you know how Amazon, when you get to Black Friday sales and stuff, all of a sudden that item that's been in your cart for a while, the price slowly increases, and then they're like, whoa, look at the savings on Black Friday. It turns out it's the same price it was before. They just they increased it and decreased it. So that's what they want to do. They want to show you how, oh, look, you saved $2,000 this year. No, you didn't. Especially when if they, came back with the subsidies, you could save, tens of thousands of dollars a year in healthcare, meaning you don't have to die. I'd say that's worth it more than a $2,000 dividend. Okay, and so the next thing that happened, everybody's asking him, hey, yo, Trump, what about this Epstein stuff? And a reporter asked on Air Force One yesterday, and he's like, shut up, piggy. Like, dude, shut the... Okay. And the audacity of these press members who have sold out our democracy to not even stand up for her and say, hey, yo, that's not cool. But he's like, I don't care. I'll just say what I want to say. And so he put out a notice like, oh, Republicans, you can go ahead and make sure you vote to release the Epstein files. So you want me and everybody else next to me to believe that y'all didn't mess with these files? You've been fighting this. You've been calling it a hoax since the stuff was done in July and said it wasn't real when your name started showing up. And you want me to believe you're just automatically, you know what? I had a change of heart. Everybody should know what's on that. Go ahead and vote for it. Yeah. Only 4 Republicans have had the courage to stand up to him and told him to kick rocks, and they voted for him. And now today the House did vote, and almost every Republican voted to release these Epstein files. He didn't have a change of heart. That man's a demon. And what did we learn from K-pop demon hunters? A demon doesn't have feelings. So you got to remember, it's time for the takedown with that. So not only that, today, federal judges in Texas voted 2-1 to back down on the Texas redistricting. I talked to you about that a couple of weeks ago, where they were trying to get rid of all of the Democratic congressional seats, and the judges said, no, stick with what you have and be lucky about it. Of course, they're going to try to appeal it, and then they're going to go cry to SCOTUS and try to get their way or whatever. But for now, you have to look at it, because it was going to kind of even out with California. They put it through to the people. The people voted. People said, yeah, we want to redistrict. Get them out of here. So you do the math on that. So that's catching you up to, I think, everything. Also, they stole all that money for the SNAP benefits. You know that, right? I said that before. But the reason why they're trying to get people off of it is because when they gave Elon Musk and Doge the keys to everything, they gave them the money. So knowledge is power, y'all. I know it sounds corny, but there's a reason why they're trying to take down the Department of Education. They're trying to block you from learning a lot of things. People have asked me, well, you didn't care. You know, I put on a post on Twitter, and they're like, well, you didn't care before. And I was like, you know why I didn't care before? It's not that I didn't care about the victims or the disgusting nature of all of it. It's that rich, powerful white men in America have statistically gotten away with shit and murder and all that other stuff. So there was no punishment that was ever going to come to anybody on that list. That doesn't mean if you are a white man here in this district that's not a billionaire that I feel any kind of animosity towards you because of that. No, I'm talking about the people that look down on you because they feel that you're unworthy, because they have a ton of money that they don't know what to do with it. So what they do is they go and commit crimes, whether blue collar or criminal crimes or everything else. They crime and do damage to people for their whole entire lives. That's a different person than you. So remember that, right? So I knew that punishment and accountability doesn't happen too often here, and we have to take a look at that. What got me perked up was that, you know, the person who had been talking about this for years, all of a sudden was like, oh, never mind. Boop. Doesn't exist. Wait, why does it now not exist? Tell me what it is. And that's what made me perk up. And, you know, I think that, you know, he's a criminal and he should pay for his actions. Anybody should pay for their actions. So I'm not necessarily looking for, you know, the show of it all. I'm looking for some accountability to happen. And if nobody holds anybody accountable, that sucks. So, and then, you know, we know what's on there because we know what the emails say, right? And then you have to start looking at, did that man voluntarily leave this world? There's another crime. Okay, so you're all caught up. I got more news about where I'll be this week coming up in another video. So, you know, donate randyformd.com, and also, you know, just check out what we're talking about, looking for interns and more. We gotta win this, right?